Hey everybody, it's Natasha of natashaskitchen.com, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a cheesecake to remember. This is an impressively tall New York style cheesecake. The texture is incredible and it doesn't get any easier than this. If you've never made a homemade cheesecake, you are in for a treat, and you're going to love our homemade cherry topping. And I want cheesecake, so let's get started. I'm going to show you how we make our easy go-to cheesecake crust. Start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll need about 12 whole graham crackers to make 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs. There's a few ways to do this. You can either pulse it in a food processor like so, or put them in a large Ziploc bag, then roll them with a rolling pin, or you can process them in a high-powered blender until you have crumbs. Transfer those crumbs to a mixing bowl and add 1 tablespoon of sugar and 6 tablespoons of melted, unsalted butter. Use a spoon to stir that together until the crumbs are evenly moistened. Transfer those moist crumbs to a 9-inch springform pan, and I love using a non-stick springform pan for easier release of the crust once the cheesecake is all baked and ready to serve. I'll leave a link to the pan that I use in the recipe notes. Bake that in the center of a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for just 8 minutes. Then take it out of the oven and let it cool completely to room temperature. While that's cooling, you should also start boiling a pot of water. Once the crust has nearly cooled, we can start on the filling. In the bowl of a stand mixer with the paddle attachment, combine 4.5 blocks or 2 1/4 pounds of softened cream cheese. Make sure that cream cheese is at room temperature. Add 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar, then beat on medium-high speed using the paddle attachment for 5 minutes. It should be light and fluffy. Scrape down the bowl once or twice as needed so you don't get chunks of cream cheese at the bottom. When you're scraping down the bowl, make sure you're reaching all the way down to the bottom and scrape around the paddle attachment. This will ensure that you don't have any lumps of cream cheese. After about 5 minutes, the mixture should be completely smooth. Reduce to medium speed. Next, add 6 large room temperature eggs, adding them one at a time and waiting until the eggs are fully incorporated between each addition. Scrape down the bowl as needed to make sure your mixture is uniformly smooth. Once all of the eggs are well incorporated, scrape down the bowl once more, then reduce the speed to low and add 1/4 cup of sour cream. Also add 1.5 teaspoons of real vanilla extract, and I'm using a homemade vanilla extract. I will link to the tutorial for this in the notes. It has just 2 ingredients and it makes everything taste better. Mix that together on low speed just until it's well incorporated, then turn the mixer off. The cheesecake mixture should be completely smooth. Now, our best trick for making a cheesecake that's level without any cracks is to use a water bath method. Take 2 heavy-duty large sheets of foil, layer them on top of each other, then wrap them around the edges of your cheesecake pan. Using a heavy-duty foil and double layering ensures that you don't get any water leaks. Make sure the foil is not touching the rim to give the cheesecake a little bit of room to rise. Place the cheesecake pan into a large, deep roasting pan, and I'll link to this one in the notes. Now pour all of that cheesecake filling over your cooled crust. Next, we're gonna add the water that you boiled in the pot earlier into the roasting pan. You'll need it to go about 1.5 to 2 inches up the sides of the springform pan. And here's a quick tip, depending on the size of your roasting pan, you may need quite a bit of water, so definitely boil more than you think you'll need. The hot water around the cake keeps it baking at a consistent temperature. It also keeps the sides and top lighter in color and prevents cracks. Using hot mitts for safety, carefully transfer that to the center rack of your preheated oven. And continue baking for 1 hour to 1 hour and 10 minutes or until the cheesecake is nearly set. You'll know it's done if you gently wiggle the pan and you see a slight wobble in the center of your cheesecake. Remove the roasting pan from the oven and let the cheesecake cool in the water bath for 45 minutes. Then transfer it to a wire rack and let it cool completely to room temperature. Now, a cheesecake needs to be fully chilled and set before serving, so cover with plastic wrap and refrigerate overnight. If you cut into a cheesecake before it's fully chilled, it can be soupy in the center. And totally normal, I just happen to have another cheesecake that's been setting overnight in my refrigerator. What I love about using a non-stick pan is the sides typically don't stick to the pan once it's cooled overnight. The springform mold should release easily, and the sides will look perfect. The professional look of this cheesecake can only be achieved by using the water bath method. Oh, look at this. It is perfection. And we're gonna get this show on the road and just do this taste test because my little girl has been asking for cheesecake all morning and I just can't make her wait any longer. Okay, and if you're gonna serve it right off of the pan, which I do a lot, you can just put a little damp paper towel underneath and that way it won't slide around when you slice it. Tricks of the trade. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay, more tricks of the trade. The easiest way I've found to cut through a cheesecake to keep it looking really clean and beautiful is to use a hot knife. So I've got a knife dipped in hot water here to warm it up nicely and then just dry it off. And if you see that your cake is sticking to the sides of the pan, if you have, say, a non-stick pan or a non-stick pan, just use a warm knife, take it around the edges before you loosen it off, and that'll do it. Anyways, our knife is warm and dry, and we're just gonna cut right into this. And if you wipe the knife and dip it in hot water between each slice, you'll have a cleaner cut and you'll be plating like a pro. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna serve this because I want cheesecake bad. Here we go. And look at that texture. It is so fluffy and whipped, like velvety smooth. Yum. Get in my belly. Yeah, look at that. Woohoo. Remember that topping I was telling you about? That's right. Homemade cherry sauce. And this is great year round because you can use frozen cherries, which is what I did because cherries are not in season yet. But that's okay, it doesn't even matter. Look at how saucy this is. Yum. And this tastes like the best homemade cherry pie filling. It is fantastic, super easy to make. I will link to the recipe in the notes because you have to get your hands on this. It's also really good over pancakes and waffles and cheesecake, of course. Okay, lots of cherry sauce. Here we go. Oh, yum. I love when there's a little bit of cherry juice drip. Look at that, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm so excited. Here we go. Diving in. Okay, getting a little bit of everything, especially a cherry. Wow, that is definitely a New York style cheesecake. The texture is phenomenal. It literally just melts in your mouth. Oh, and I love the crust too. It's so simple. This is gonna become a new favorite for you. And can you even believe how easy it is to make a cheesecake? There's just a little bit of waiting, okay, a lot of bit of waiting while it cools, but it really is so easy to bake a cheesecake. It's a keeper of a recipe. And make sure you try that cherry sauce. It'll make your day. All right, now I'm gonna get my kids in on this taste test because they have been waiting very impatiently. Oh, kids! Okay, all right. Oh, someone's hungry for cheesecake. Okay, I'll give you a big bite. Oh, that was a big bite. Was it too big? Was it awesome?
Oh yeah. Cherry sauce.
Oh yeah, there's 2 cherries on here. Whoa. Here, I'm gonna let you handle that business yourself.
I want this.
You want more? Okay, what do you think? Do I get the thumbs up? Yes. Okay guys, let's have some cake. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and we'll see you in our next one.